Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Boundaries with Lisa Richmond. I'm Lisa Richmond, and this is Tarot Tuesday. Welcome if this is your first time showing up, seeing what the cards have for you today. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. Thanks for stopping in. I pull cards every Tuesday, bring through intuitive messages that go along with the cards. On Thursday, I just do direct channeling with my guides, any light beings, angels, have messages for the collective, for you, for the viewer. So if you're here, there's a message for you, undoubtedly. This is a timeless reading, meaning you can, if it shows up for you, that's probably when you're to hear the message. And if you watch it all and some of it doesn't resonate, then that just means the message specifically is for somebody else. The cards are used as a tool to be able to show off some illustrations with the story, so to speak. I'm a storyteller. I love to tell stories. And so myself, when I do my readings for individuals, I never use cards. It's just straight channeling from your guides or your higher self. But when I come on here, it's nice to have some cards because it's nice to have a little entertainment, a little picture, if you will, to be able to go with the intuitive message that's coming through for you. So when I was tuning into the message today, my guides were really specific about, they were like, just be real. Like, just be real. You gotta just be real. And I'm like, as opposed to what? Like every time I come on, I'm not real. Or the messages aren't real. Like, I am always real. And they're like, that's the key in this specific message, is that we are in this huge shift change energy right now, like so intense, the shift change energy. We're having tower moments, meaning the crumbling of existing foundations. We're having death and rebirth. We are moving through some of the greatest transitions and changes that you've probably ever experienced in your human go around this life. So in it, the grounding message behind this today is just like, stay real, stay true to you. Less is more in maintaining your frequency, like maintaining the resonance that needed for you to stay in the timeline, the frequency that is best for you. Again, maintaining a resonance is maintaining the energetic resonance that keeps you aligned with the frequency of the timeline in which you're in. So if you're cruising around on this high vibe timeline and then you go into work or you go into a social situation or even a conversation and then all of a sudden you're pulled into a different timeline, it's because that particular interaction or experience you cannot hold the resonance to keep you in that frequency. And so most of us, actually, like hundreds of times a day, will go in and out of different timelines, different frequencies based on what we're doing. The whole message behind this is allow yourself to try and maintain the resonance that keeps you in the highest frequency that is available to you on a regular basis, that allows the underbelly of some of the turmoil, which is the change, right? The change has to happen, but the real like nitty gritty stuff going underneath is occurring inevitably. And so you can do what you can do to try to maintain your resonance. Okay, this is really important. Try to refrain from scrolling through stuff that is clickbait, that is like trying to pull you into the narrative of fear, because what is the best form of control is allowing, like, generating fear for people. It's the oldest trick in the book. I'm not saying that belongs to this person or this person or this situation. I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to get all like political, but I'm just talking energy here because energy is my first language. So if the most important isn't what's going to happen next, even though we all want to know that. But the most important is, what can I do right now to allow me to stay in the frequency in which keeps me in the highest vibration possible? What are the things? So for me, it's like very small group of people in which I surround myself with. I'm very choosy about the artistic projects or work projects in which I'm doing right now, because I have to maintain my level of self-awareness and generating like more rest, more restoration for myself, and so not to be pulled into different directions. So it's harder then for me to maintain the resonance when I'm being pulled in multiple directions. Even if it's like a bunch of passion projects, I have to be really choosy about it so that I can restore my energy right now during this like kind of time of change. Okay. Okay, so this isn't just a channel. I do want to pull cards. So that is the original downloaded message that's coming through right now to start off this reading. So I hope that whoever heard that can resonate with that, because it's for you, it's for the collective. Maintain your resonance. That has been my overwhelming message that has come through for the last 3 months. Maintain your resonance. Over and over. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Sacred Symbols Oracle, which give very simplistic symbolisms to help illustrate energies or timelines. So Spirit, what is it that our collective needs to see or hear to tap into today? We have trust. You don't say. No. Boundaries and grounded. No doubt. Guys, this is so great. What an amazing validation of cards. So trusting the energies, and it comes with the number 16. 16 can be significant, but also adds up until the number 7. So the trust card, trusting a few things. Trusting that the universe has your back. Trusting that your blueprint, your soul's journey, soul's path is divinely orchestrated, combined with your free will, of course, for this place and time, like right now, which is a very complex time on earth. And so for our great shift and awakening, you got to trust that there were some powerful beings that worked alongside you to get here at this place and this time. And even though it doesn't feel like that sometimes, trust that that is the case. And that when you can maintain that higher level frequency for yourself, when you're riding in that higher timeline, trust that what shows up while you're in that energetic frequency is aligned with your highest and greatest good. Okay, you don't have to know what happens at the end of the road. If you keep you and you maintain that resonance, then you know that whatever shows up for you is in energetic match with where you're resonating. If you're dipping up and down, it makes it a little bit more murky, right? So just trust that your greatest and highest good is showing up for you when you are true to yourself. Don't get, I can't say that. They're saying, no, don't say that. Try and acknowledge what comes up in your daily life that could reflect back to you that you're not in that resonance. So like if you are maybe all of a sudden feeling a lot of anxiety because of a fear of finances, let's say, which is a very real thing, it happens all the time, try to even just step away from the nucleus of that fear and just saying, okay, this is really interesting. I'm experiencing a lot of fear right now because I have the ability to choose that as a belief right now. And then it kind of like untangles you a little bit from being in the nucleus, and then realizing that you do have choice within every thought belief system that you're putting forward. So I acknowledge that this fear and this anxiety is coming up, but I also acknowledge that I have the ability to choose that. And just by saying that out loud allows that resonance to like come. It's like the words are created with that, and then all of a sudden you stop having to hold so much of that frequency and fear within your energy field. You're releasing it, you're transmuting it within that belief system. It takes practice for sure. This really came up strongly. I did a reading earlier today, and high vibrational soul, and this was so much of the alliance with her. So it's so interesting how like timing that way is all set up. But anyway, it's another story. Okay, boundaries. Boundaries is the next card, which is number 26, which might have significant, or number 8. And the infinity sign is kind of coming up. And that's really great because the boundaries card allows you to be able to maintain that resonance too. Again, it's just going back to it over and over and over. Boundaries, even if like, boundaries is used so much, and people often start saying, oh, we're using boundaries as a way to shut people out, or we're saying this is boundaries, but really you're not allowing the universal order to take place because you've got your boundaries, your blockers on. And I like to say, like, yeah, I can see that, but I can also see how people would use that if they don't want you using your boundaries. So allow your boundaries to come out of a place of truth and knowing, and it comes from you. Nobody else can tell you what your boundaries are. That completely eliminates the purpose of them in the first place. So your boundary might be very specific for a month, because in that month you need to maintain that boundary in order to maintain your frequency, or in order to like rest enough, or in order to for you to do some healing that needs to take place that requires some solace. Maybe that's your boundary for a month, and then maybe afterwards you're like, yeah, that boundary isn't so strong anymore. I can take a look. I can reevaluate what these boundaries are for myself. Remember, boundaries are yours. You create them, you maintain them, and you can also take them down and shift and change, like a fence, right? And then don't make a fence to keep people out. Well, sometimes you got to have a fence, right? Like, because sometimes you don't want things coming in, and sometimes you don't want things going out. So the fence is fine. But once a fence is built, doesn't mean it has to stay for life. You can move the fence around, make it malleable. You can change it. You can take it down altogether. You can rebuild it higher. You can do whatever the hell you want with your fence because it's yours. Right? And so this is all part of it. And creating these boundaries, these fences, these whatever analogy you want to use, to be able to create a lifestyle, an energy system that aligns with your greatest and highest good, then allows more ability to maintain your frequency, because you're not having to navigate other people's frequencies so much in so many different situations. This really does feel more like hermit energy, in the way that it's almost like a reevaluation of what is working, what is not, like how, like the things that you can clearly see are no longer an energetic match. And maybe that thing that is out of the energetic match is actually what's keeping you from comfortably residing in that frequency, right? And it's not like for life, you're gone, you're out. But maybe it's like, for now, this clearly isn't an energetic match, and it's like a string that's being pulled out of that frequency, right? Okay. And then the last one's 22. Man, that's a great number. 2 is balance, and this is called grounded. This card is grounded. This symbolism is really significant to me, actually. Anyway, the anchoring your energy, grounding yourself into your energetic body as well, right? So if you're feeling ungrounded, it's really difficult to make boundaries and reside in a higher frequency. You can feel very grounded in your timeline, very grounded in the energetic space in which you choose to reside in. And when you're feeling ungrounded, when you're feeling like you're being lifted here, there, and being pulled places, it's really difficult, again, to maintain that. So what are the things that allow you to stay grounded? They're probably the same things that are allowing you to stay in that energetic frequency of your highest timeline, where you can be able to receive your greatest and highest good, because it shows up, because it's an energetic match. And you can stop trying to micromanage what it is that you want, and trust, first card, trust that when you maintain this energy, you're able to receive things freely that are way beyond what you could even imagine, because they're in the highest timeline, they're in the highest frequency, they're an energetic match with that. Okay, so the things that keep you grounded might be actually physically grounding. Go touch grass, right? Hug a tree. Those are the like typical ones. Maybe it's -50 and you can't go outside, and so you get like grounding mats. Or you surround yourself with houseplants, or you cuddle with your cats, or you do ecstatic dancing or yoga or workout, whatever it is that grounds you, to be able to feel rooted and grounded in that energetic resonance. it allows you then to open-heartedly trust the road that unfolds for you. Okay. Let's see what tarot has to say. If there's any more, I don't know. That kind of feels complete, but we're going to go for it anyway. Let's see. Is there a reroute? Is there a side pile? Side pot of information maybe that's coming through? This feels a bit of a different energy that's coming through with this. So let's just give me a second. Queen of Wands, not really. It's pretty aligned. It's the Queen of Wands. Oh, okay. King of Swords. Guys, Queen of Wands, King of Swords. Yeah. And Page of Cups. Okay. This is really funny. Queen of Wands, King of Swords, and Page of Cups. That's like mother, father, child. Oh, what is this about? Oh, this is like that sacred union. This is like the they're showing me, you guys tell me what that like trifecta, the sacred of the three, the symbolism of the sacred three, like the three rings. It is a symbolism. I almost want to like look it up and see what it is. You're obviously going to know before I know because I can just see it in my mind's eye. I just don't know what it's called. Symbol. An ancient symbol that consists of three interconnecting shapes which form what is known as the Trinity knot. While the symbol is called a triquetra, it's also known as the Trinity knot, the Celtic Trinity knot, and the Holy Trinity. Okay, so they're really giving me this indication, and this is what these three represent. I knew it was taking a separate role. It's been used in Christian tradition as the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, which I know very, very well. Paganism, Celtic figure consists of the simplest possible knot, symbolized in philosophy that everything has three distinct yet interlocked levels: physical, mental, spiritual, earth, sea, sky. Goes into the triple goddess, maiden, mother, crone. But of course, then that was gone into witchcraft, which is deeply feared, of course. This is really interesting because this is like the mother, father, child, right? But yeah, okay, life, death, rebirth. Okay, so you're getting the picture. So essentially, the reason why this is coming up, and this is why it's interesting that like you could read Queen of Wands, King of Swords, and Page of Cups in multiple different ways, right? Especially with the original reading that was coming through. This did take a bit of a different turn, which is interesting because obviously this is for a select few. So like, please comment if that like trifecta symbol, the triple, has been coming up for you a lot. I remember, I mean, it's obviously come up for me here and there with specifically like the triple goddess, maiden, mother, and crone. I mean, that's like, that comes up all the time for me. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, I think I really kind of resisted as an adult because I've had a lot of religious trauma. But this is more indicating your ability to use all senses of self. So the Queen of Wands is using your they're saying the depths of your intuition, that feminine strength, your intuition, your creative energy, being able to decipher exactly what lands with you, what you can go in and intuitively be guided with. And the King of Swords is like, how can you stand up in defense, not defense, that's not the right word, to be able to like cut illusion out, being able to really sort through the mind's chatter and being like really in charge of, the mind, right? And this is like, what too, like body, mind, and soul, heart, which is the cups, is the heart. The King of Swords is like the mind, right? The masculine. And then the cups is like your divine love or inner child. The Page of Cups is very much represented as inner child, which I always like to say your inner child is really a representation of your most authentic self, because your inner child comes in without program. We're programmed through humanity in our third dimensional realm to go with societal norms. So this is saying, like, how can you tune in to the aspects of yourself that create that like trifecta effect? So like your mind not living upstairs like you're taught, but being able to be in charge of your thoughts, being able to like control the fact that your mind chatter, your fears, your thoughts don't take over. That you, once you can like conquer the mind, it is one of the greatest tools to connect into your divine masculine, about being able to do the things you need to do without any of the limiting beliefs and fears. It's like that sword is, they're really bringing through like the Archangel Michael, who has that sword to be able to like cut through illusion, cut old ties to that connections of lower vibration. And the Queen of Wands is really like, what are you doing in your life that is generated by your intuitive knowing, that spark, that fire of being able to like create, right? That intuitive, creative, like what is it in your world? So when you go here, you create. And then the Page of Cups is like your heart. That's like your inner child, that tenderness, that willingness to try something because it's exciting and it feels fun. Okay, so this is like allowing yourself to have the balance of the three. Okay, that trifecta, they're really showing, they're like hitting that home of being able to, like, when you're residing into this frequency, they're saying this is really pulling it home of like how you can represent that in the human form, right? Like residing in a high frequency is the bomb when you can sit in meditation for hours and you can do like quantum level healing. And like if I could stay in that all day I would, but then it would be like, why am I human then? Because I would just do that in the angelic realm, right? But this is like how to maintain that as a human, then like to actually take that information of like trusting, boundaries, groundedness, that downloaded message first about like maintaining your resonance to be able to like walk your highest timeline, and then how to live your life as a functional human being, and saying like integrate these three, integrate that like higher perspective of knowledge, that like creative divine feminine, along with that heart and soul of the inner child. Like let's make that our trifecta. Okay, because then you don't really necessarily have to like associate it to gender. I'm talking about like creative intuition, your like strong mind and your ability to see clearly, and then that fun, loving, joyous, authentic part of self, which is could and can be your inner child. And if the inner child doesn't feel that way for you, I would highly encourage you to do some inner child work, because we do come in as a child in our most authentic vibration, and then we're just tuned out of it. And so coming back into your highest timeline, maybe you should maybe let the head honcho of your brain take a bit of a rest and let that inner child come in and maybe like show you the way a little bit, to allow for that fun, loving, free-spirited experience to kind of like play out, right? Okay, cool. All right, I was going to pull one last one, the Keepers of Light. At the end, my guides are like, pull one, because then you can kind of like connect into Master Soul, Angel, Guide, who's coming through right now, that has a message that goes along with this for the collective, for the viewers today. If you're still here, I'd love to share this, because this usually comes with a pretty strong energy that comes through the heart space, and Kuan Yin through the heart space. Yeah. Care and compassion. Choose to be loved. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. Kuan Yin is like heart space. First of all, the Keepers of Light want to acknowledge all of the service and commitment you have offered to others. You are all love. If you are finding it difficult with anyone at the moment, the best way you can move forward is to go beyond wanting to understand why or how they are the way they are, but just move beyond the behavior, mistakes, and challenges and bring forward care, love, and friendship to those around you. Even if it doesn't always feel and seem that way, you have that choice, right? Move into compassion and develop a greater understanding. This will elevate your spirit and connect to love. Cool. Moving out of your head and into your heart. So thank you, Kuan Yin, for coming forward with that message. Okay, guys, maintain your resonance. Okay, if you have any questions about this, how this landed for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Also, how are you enjoying these messages? How do you feel that you connect with them? Is this something that you want more of, want less of? Any ideas moving forward? That kind of stuff. I'm open for suggestions as I'm trying to kind of navigate what's authentic for me in this too, and how that looks to just like poof, give it off to you guys, and also stay true to myself. So let me know how this lands for you, and I hope that you got to take in even a little bit of information that you could directly implement in your daily life. Okay, like, subscribe, share, comment, all the things that help the channel grow. Plus, I love the comments. I always read them. And if you're looking to book, please head on over to my website at lisarichmond.ca. You reach out to me. We can find a time that works. And I also have a platform, or I am a part of a platform at Avalon Spirit, which I think the majority of you already know. So if you head to avalonspirit.com, you can book with me there too. Okay, guys, I'll see you Thursday. Peace.